What's up, family? Welcome back to Truthville, USA. I am Q. So, when people ask me why I have trust issues, they need to look no further than our federal government. Our federal government gives me major trust issues, right? So, there was a lot of question being brought by Dr. Phil, by mainstream voices, right, that you wouldn't normally consider to be, conservative voices. People asking, well, okay, so you guys say that these investigations against Donald Trump are not politically motivated. You guys say that was no communication or any oversight by the DOJ into Trump, but you have this situation in Manhattan where the third most powerful person in the DOJ, the third in command, Matthew Colangelo, direct assistant to Merrick Garland. This guy winds up going to work not for Merrick Garland as the head of the DOJ, but takes a major step down to go work for Alvin Bragg in Manhattan. That makes zero sense, especially if you are looking for upward trajectories in your career. That's a huge step backwards. And so even people who were not political were asking, how can you say it's not politically motivated when you send, or your assistant goes to work of all places in the country? I mean, if you're going to leave the DOJ, I can think of a lot better places to go and live. Who moves to New York to go and work for Alvin Bragg if you're just looking for a change of pace or a change of scenery? So let not your hearts be troubled. We now have a report, and there was absolutely no shenanigans going on, we now know, based on this report. So it turns out that there really was no collusion going on between the Bragg campaign, or the Bragg office, and the DOJ. And how do we know this? Because the DOJ did their own investigation. That's right. The DOJ investigated themselves, and they found there to be no collusion between the Department of Justice and the Manhattan DA's office. Even though we know that Alvin Bragg made several trips to the White House, we know that to be the case. We know that the third in command at the DOJ then went to work with Alvin Bragg, even though Alvin Bragg had already said that there was no case when it came to the bookkeeping error, and decided that he didn't want to bring the case. He didn't decide to bring the case until Matthew Colangelo came to work in his office. Then they decided, maybe you missed something. Let's go after Trump. So even though all of these things took place, because the DOJ has done their own internal investigation and they found themselves to be not guilty, we can put that to rest, because the DOJ did a report and exonerated themselves and exonerated Alvin Bragg. Good job, America. Now we can all sleep tight, knowing that our government is 100% trustworthy. I mean, I wish that they would allow regular, everyday Americans to investigate themselves. I've investigated myself, officer, and I am not guilty of drinking and driving. I found myself to have not had a single drop. I am perfectly sober. Come on, man. Where else does that work? Where else does it work to say that I'm going to investigate myself of any wrongdoing, and guess what? I found myself to be not guilty. Let me know what you guys think about this. Does that investigation of the DOJ by the DOJ and the findings, does it make you feel any better about the outcome? Comment below. I'll see you guys next time. Be blessed.